My name is Leah Hartman, and I am the owner and operator of Shanti Yoga Love in Geneva, Ohio. I also teach a few yoga classes as well, so I know Bonnie very, very well. Wanted to talk to you a little bit today about yoga and stress relief, especially since this week's, it sounds like, topic is stress and anxiety. So stress can actually be managed with yoga. Anxiety can be managed with yoga. It can help with all of these things. And part of the way that happens is through breathing exercises. So a lot of people have this thought process or this have come to believe that you, in order to benefit from yoga or to even practice yoga, you have to be able to be incredibly flexible. You have to be able to tie yourself up into a pretzel, be able to get up and down off of the floor a million times, do a ton of all of these crazy poses, and that's actually not really true. There are a lot of different styles of yoga, and all of them can help to benefit you in terms of managing or reducing the effects of stress and anxiety in the mind and body. So one thing to remember is that yoga itself, what yoga means is to unite, or to yoke it's often called, and that means uniting the mind, the body, and the spirit. So that's one of the ways that helps us to manage our stress. So in a typical yoga class, you will find some breathing exercises. Of course, you'll do a lot of stretching, and hopefully you'll get an opportunity to set an intention or dedication for the practice. And all of these things weave together to help you make it your own, and that is to also help you manage those emotions, those feelings that may come up during the course of the practice. So whether it's stress that you're dealing with, whether you're dealing with grief or sadness, there are all kinds of benefits to a regular yoga practice. So I could stand up here and talk to you forever and you would get really, really, really bored. So I thought that maybe we would just do a quick little practice instead. You won't have to get out of your chair. I know you're like, wait, I already exercised and then I have to go exercise again. Now you're going to make me do more? Don't worry about it. We'll stay in the chair. So let's just start by finding our way into a comfortable seated position. So allow yourself to be supported by the chair back. Your feet can be at the ground. You can have your legs extended in front of you, or you can have them right underneath you. You can have your eyes open with a soft gaze at the ground, or you can close them, whatever seems more natural to you. Let's start to come into the practice space by way of the breath. What I mean by that is count the length of your full inhalation. Fill the lungs with air, and then count the exhalation. Let's try and make them last the same count. 2 more rounds of breath, just like that. Use those spacers that you would use to count out seconds. Maybe you choose 1,000 or Mississippi or even chimpanzee, whatever you learned. 1 more round of breath right here. Begin to notice your surroundings. Start by noticing sounds that capture your attention, beginning with the most distant sound that you're aware of. With each breath, draw the awareness a little bit closer, taking distracting noises and sending them away with your exhalations. As you do this, let's begin to get some gentle movement into the neck, dropping the right ear toward the right shoulder. Allow the chin to sweep toward the chest. Left ear coming over toward the left shoulder. And the chin can roll up toward the sky. If that doesn't work in your body, just draw the crown of the head back up to the sky. 2 more times like that, clearing away those distracting noises, going from the most distant space. 1 breath at a time, coming closer and closer until your awareness is at the sound of your own breath. And the next time you find the chin tracking toward the chest, we'll pause in stillness. Draw the crown of the head to the sky. Sink a little bit more. Allow the shoulders to soften away from the ears. Start to notice the breath as it moves through the body. Feel the chest rise and fall, the abdomen expand and contract with each breath. Let's bring the shoulders up toward the ears and allow them to roll back toward the wall behind you and down, starting to relieve and release some of that tension that we hold in the shoulders. We carry a lot of that stress here. 2 more breaths right here. One more breath here. Let's bring those fingertips toward the sky. Bring them out in front of you. And allow them to float back down the center line of the body. Lifting and lowering. Inhale as you bring the arms up. Exhale as you release them back down. One more breath right here. Allow your hands to float down to rest on your lap. Sit up nice and tall, and as you exhale, hinge at the hips. Allow your chest to start to sink toward the ground. Pause in stillness here. Take a moment to feel the stretches in the body. Feel the softening in the back. Feel the glutes releasing. This is where we may set an intention or a dedication for the practice. Maybe it's a single word or a phrase, a positive affirmation statement that you may be working with. Maybe you like to use a prayer. One more breath, right? Inhale, slowly draw yourself back up. Let's bring those fingertips up to the sky. Catch the right wrist with the left hand and lean over to the left side of the room. Continuing to repeat that intention to yourself. One more breath right here. Beautiful job, everyone. Inhale, come back up. Separate the hands as you exhale. Sink over toward the right side of the room. 3 more breaths here. Softening the shoulders away from the ears. One more breath right here. Beautiful job. Inhale, fingertips come back up to the sky. Let's allow the hands to float back down to the lap. Take a moment to notice what's going on in the mind. Again, soft gaze at the ground, or you can leave the eyes closed if you like that. Take those to-do lists, those concerns and expectations, and let's imagine a mental closet or a mental box, one by one, setting those things aside. You're not ignoring any of these things. Some of them may be important. Just give yourself permission to take a few moments for yourself. One more breath right here. Closing off that closet or that box, putting away the last of those distracting thoughts, those concerns, those expectations and frustrations. Let's go ahead and extend our right foot out in front of us. Allow the toes to come up toward the sky. We also hold tension and stress in the hips, in the glutes, the back of the legs, the low back. Sit up nice and tall. Exhale. Sink forward a little bit. The chest comes toward the toes. These are all things that you can do in your chair at your office, in your chair at home. Just give yourself some tools. As you inhale, let's slowly press back up. Sitting up nice and tall. Bring that foot back. Inhale, and as you exhale, press the left foot away from you. Heel resting at the ground, toe pointing toward the sky. Inhale again, exhale, sink forward over that extended leg. Each exhalation taking stress, tension, discomfort away from you. Each stress taking those distracting thoughts, those concerns, those worries, those frustrations, those fears, and sending it away from you. And with your next inhalation, slowly draw yourself back up to that seated position on your mat. Inhaling again, bring the hands to the heart, and as you exhale, we're going to turn to the right side of the room. Let the hands come down to rest on the thighs. Maybe one hand comes behind you on your chair. This midsection of the body gets a little messed up when we're stressed as well. Notice your stomach sometimes becomes a little bit upset. Allow yourself to get some attention here. Each exhalation, twisting a little more deeply. Each inhalation, popping up a little bit. 2 more breaths here. Rinsing through the midsection of the body. Inhale as you come back through center. And as you exhale, twist over toward the left side. This can be as deep or as shallow as you need it to be. Maybe you're barely turning. Maybe your body wants to really twist around, keeping that spine as straight as possible. As if the muscles were a flag, wrapping around a flagpole during a windstorm. 2 more breaths right here. One more breath right here. Beautiful job. Inhale as you come back through center. Allow yourself to settle back into that neutral position. Let's take a couple more breaths here. This time we're just going to soften the body, starting to mentally calm. So from the crown of the head, allow a sense of release to wash down the body, down the back and the sides of the head, over the front of the head. Soften your forehead and eyebrows, the space between your brows. The bridge of the nose and muscles around the eyes soften. Soften the muscles around your ears and your temples, your cheeks and jaw. Release the muscles around your mouth, your chin, throat, sides of the neck and back of the neck. Soften the shoulders away from the ears and release tension you may be holding in your arms, hands, wrists, and fingers. Soften the upper back, middle back, and the low back. Imagine the tension melting toward the ground as you focus on each of these spaces in the body. Come back to the collarbones, softening the chest, the abdomen and the sides of the body. Release your hips, the glutes, the muscles in the legs, your feet, heels becoming heavy. Send the last of those stresses, those tensions out through the tips of the toes and just settle into this space of release. So, taking a moment to examine. If you like to leave your eyes closed, you can. You can open them if you would prefer. Take a moment to examine the source of some of those stresses. We tend to allow them to be attached to specific things, but maybe your job or your boss, a certain customer, typically your children, your spouse. They tend to be attached to something a little bit broader than that. Stresses come from fear, from guilt, they come from grief, they come from the inability to feel that we have the right to express ourselves, to communicate, to use our voice, to speak our truth, or to understand or see or find the path that we feel we may be destined to follow. We may know where we want to end up, but how to get there becomes the challenge. Seeing if you can visualize the source of that stress as one of those things. Allow it to become a physical object that you can visualize in front of yourself. Draw that breath in, and as you exhale, imagine the breath blowing onto that object. Begin to imagine that object, that physical representation of your stressor, being made from sand, salt, sugar, dust, and dirt. With each breath, the exhalation chips away at it, seeing it disintegrate, dissolve. The stressor, the obstacle, the object of your stress. Becoming smaller, becoming less significant with each round of breath. Each exhalation, maybe the exhales you visualize as strong winds. Each exhalation, making it a little bit smaller, disintegrating it, letting it blow away, floating off into all four corners of the earth. 2 more rounds of breath. Allow yourself to blow away the last bits of that stressor, last bits of that thing that you visualized. Slowly allow your eyes to open if you haven't already done so. And just take a moment to notice how you feel. How does the physical body feel now compared to the way it felt when we first started this? Do you feel softened? Do you feel like you've eliminated or released a little bit of that stress? So, mentioning before that those stresses are often from things like fear and guilt and inability to speak our truth. Those things are also connected to areas of the body. Some of you may have heard of a chakra, but those chakras are energetic centers in the body, and we have exercises, yoga exercises that can assist you in releasing some of these things. So if it's fear, that tends to deal more with the legs and the feet. So poses like your warrior pose, big strong leg poses are going to, lunges, those sort of things are going to help you to connect to that space, help you to strengthen and release those spaces, work with those muscles. And as you do that, as we mentioned before, where I had you setting an intention at the beginning of the class, that is where you would pull that in. So I release fear as you're in your warrior pose. If we're dealing with guilt that's in the hips, so things like squats, high or low squats are going to assist in that area. That's going to connect you to that space. The inability to take action or fear of taking action to create positive change in your life comes from that midsection of the body, that solar plexus space. It's a big space where the digestive system is, your core, those abdominal muscles, working with twists or other core exercises are going to assist you with that. And then when it comes to speaking our truth, we can work with stretches in the neck, but also allowing yourself to vocalize. So allowing yourself to hum, allowing yourself to come through some breathing exercises. We have one that I like to do. It's called bee's breath, and you actually kind of buzz, close off the eyes. That is a big one because you get that connection to that sound and you feel vibration, and you close out those visual distractions. So there are a lot of ways that you can utilize a yoga practice. So to finish up, we'll go ahead and come back into the breath. And this is something, again, that you can do anywhere. It doesn't matter where you are. If you start to feel tense or anxious, whether you're in the middle of a meeting, whether you're on the phone with a customer, no one's necessarily going to know that you're doing it. So we want to come back into that breath, count the length of that full inhalation. Make sure you allow the exhalation to last one count longer than the inhale. Your eyes can be open, your eyes can be closed, whatever works for you. 2 more rounds of breath here. Count the length of that full inhalation. Allow the exhalation to last 2 counts longer than the inhale. Continue to have that awareness of the breath, but noticing that you can observe and be aware of other things at the same time. You don't need to take yourself out of what you're doing. This is where it can become a functional tool for you to have with you at all times. One more round of breath here. Inhaling, counting the length of that full inhalation. Allow the breath to fill the lungs. Slowly releasing. If you have your eyes closed, allow yourself to flutter the eyes open. Adjusting to the light. Beautiful job, everyone. So, time for a little question and answer. Did anyone have any questions for me? Anything that you're wondering about, anything you were hoping that I would talk about or would address that I did not.
Where did you say you were from?
My company name is Shanti Yoga Love. It's a studio in right in downtown Geneva. I share the space with Great Lakes Ashtanga Yoga. So we're right on the square on the four corners. There's the wine producers on the corner, and we're kind of right next to them. We're on the southeast corner.
I was always under the impression you needed to sit and dedicate 20 or 30 minutes to meditation, and it's like impossible for me to do that. So I'm glad you showed us how to do just like a couple breaths during the meeting on the phone, just take your breaths, and then it seems like everything just goes away.
Absolutely.
For that minute. I mean, thank you for sharing that.
Sure, absolutely. And that's great. I'm glad that you mentioned that, because really your meditation or your yoga practice, and they're connected absolutely, needs to be your own. So if you don't have an hour a day to sit in silence, or you aren't up for or able to twist yourself into a pretzel, there are absolutely things that you can do that'll still give you the benefits of the yoga practice without having to spend a lot of time. You can meditate, you can just sit and breathe and tell yourself, let go. Give yourself 5 minutes. Put on your favorite slow, gentle song and slow the breath. You know, it doesn't have to be a long period of time. You're still going to get those benefits. And the more that you do it, the more time you'll want to spend in it. But you'll also see those benefits kind of finding their way out into other areas of your life. For myself, I found that I was able to focus more easily, so I'm able to stay on task with things a little bit better. I've been practicing yoga for about 15 years. I've been teaching for 3. And I just opened the studio space in January, so that part is new to me. So there's been a lot of stress in my life in the last couple months. I am not seeking medical attention for it because I have yoga. So, but yeah, definitely something that I would recommend. Everyone can do yoga. So if you can breathe, you can do yoga. Yoga is not pretzels. Yoga is not a million sun salutations. Yoga is just being able to connect movement, connect the body, connect the breath, and connect the mind and spirit. Any other questions?
Do you bring your own mat, or do you provide the mats?
So it depends where you are. In my space, we have a handful of mats that are available. I know that the YMCA has some mats available for people to use. I'm not sure, does Premier do? You have mats also? Yeah, so most places are going to have some mats available for people to use. If you have your own, it's a good idea to bring it. You'll be guaranteed to have a mat, obviously. That's the important thing. But also getting used to practicing on your own mat will make it easier, or more likely, having it at home, I guess, will make it more likely that you'll use those tools when you're at home and you know.
So you said you're affiliated and sharing the space with another yoga?
We are essentially roommates. We share the right, that's it. So we're completely separate businesses, but he operates in the morning. From his practice is really early, from like 5:30 in the morning until 11.
Okay, and that's the one that we have the free passes for?
No, you have the free passes to me. So my
okay.
classes are afternoon and evening. Yes, so with your Health for Life, you get 6 classes in my space. It's not listed on there because I came in late.
Right.
But if you want,
What times are they?
I have a few schedules, so it depends on the day. I have, most of my classes start at either 4 or 4:30 in the afternoon, and then I have classes that run, they're about an hour long. The latest one that I have starts at 7:30 in the evening. I have a Sunday afternoon as well, so